Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to this week's weekly market analysis, the 27th of March, Monday. Okay, so before I do get started, just please understand that any advice in this session is of a general nature only and that your personal circumstances have not been taken into consideration. All right, so let me just put up for all of us to see what's up and coming this particular week in terms of news and important data. As you can see already, it's a little bit of a light week. Let me quickly just talk about what's happened last week and what are the key things to look out for this week when we plan our trading. Okay, so we'll start off with the US dollar. The major impact last week was that we had quite a few FOMC members due to speak, but none of them really gave any indication on the direction of the US dollar. They were kind of avoiding the issue, or perhaps they just didn't mention anything that was impacting at the time. The most impacting event of the week, I guess, was the healthcare vote, which essentially in the 11th hour the House pulled the bill out, and essentially basically what this means is the whole Obama or Obama health, as Trump famously coined, his own house didn't support him, and basically the vote has not gone through. What this now raises is questions on how Mr. Trump plans to fund his tax care reform. So basically, what's his plan B? And for the moment, it basically puts all the focus on the fiscal policy, and which is basically the key driver for the US dollar at this particular point in time. So again, we're back to FOMC and rate decisions, and let's see what basically happens and what comes out of it this week. In terms of data or anybody talking this week, really, the US, what we have from the US front is towards the end of the week we have unemployment claims and the GDP numbers, oil inventory as well. So this is really all we have. So a fairly light week. The consumer confidence as well on the Wednesday. So it is a light week. So not much data number-wise impacting data this week. If we turn our attention now to the sterling, the GBP, this is the hottest one, probably. There's nothing really scheduled, I guess, in terms of data itself. We have the current account over here that is due, but the major news with the GBP is that we're expecting at any time now, Prime Minister May is expected to trigger Article 50 in the next few days or so. That's the expectation. Now, what does this basically mean for anybody who's been living under a rock for the last year or so, sorry, not that long, for the last 6 months? Article 50 is basically the official exit to, or the official Brexit, so to speak. So it formalizes everything, it starts the ball in motion, and so it goes. The expectation is that as soon as this triggers, that we should get some kind of a violent reaction with the GBP. Most believe it will be a drop in value for the GBP USD. It should recover. It should be like a knee-jerk reaction, euphoria, headline basically influence. Nevertheless, if you are trading the GBP, just look out for that. Keep your ears posted, or if you don't and you just see your GBP charts move 100, 200 odd pips just very quickly, you know what's basically happened. Okay, so the GBP, Article 50, we are expecting Prime Minister May to make the announcement and trigger Article 50. On the Euro front, finally the Euro broke through the 108 level. In terms of data for the Euro, we just have the consumer, with the German climate number up here. Of course, Germany is the strongest nation in the Euro, so it's highly impacting on the Euro. So we've broken through that 108. Possibly now, are we seeing a recovery? And all of a sudden, what's pushing this drive as well is the ECB has recently started to talk about tightening policies as opposed to easing policies. So as you know, the euro has been for the last few years under extreme easing policy, especially after the Greek situation a couple of years ago, and basically easing currency. In other words, printing lots of euros, which basically eases the strength, and we flood the market with more currency and it loses value. So now they're talking about the opposite, which is all of a sudden brought a different flavor to the table, and possibly breaking out of this range could be the start of a recovery. So let's keep our eye on that one as well. Question being asked, everyone is saying that Article 50 will be triggered on Wednesday. Look, it's unofficial, so I don't actually have the answer. I don't think anybody knows officially. The only person that knows is probably Prime Minister May, but you're probably not far off it, okay? Because what I've been hearing is very, very similar, just to clarify that. But I don't know, no one knows the exact time at this point in time when I'm speaking right now. All right, so that's the euro. Finally, Aussie dollar. Quite weak for the Aussie this week. We've had a bit of a setback. It's pulled back. Well, it's actually been beautiful because we've actually pulled out some really, really nice trades. I think we pulled out a couple of Aussie CAD trades, Aussie dollar trades, which has really helped us along with the daily core and the trade. And the trading challenge, excuse me. This week's quiet. Only major things that are coming out, which is not even major enough for it to make my list, is China PMI. So the commodity currencies are a little bit quiet this week. For everything that I've just said, the one to put on your hot list this week is definitely going to be the GBP USD. This is going to be the currency under the most effect of news and speculation this week. Okay, let me bring my charts forward. Let's start to analyze the market. Let's see what we have, see if we can find any trades. If you have any questions at any point in time, off topic, whatever they may be, just type them in. I will try my best to make sure that I answer them for you. All right, here we go. So we'll start off with the Aussie dollar. Interesting comment someone's just made. I guess someone's saying that I'm saying, I guess, stay away from the GBP USD. Look, if you're a little bit inexperienced and you haven't had much experience in this market, yes, possibly stay away from it. But once you do get a bit more experience and you can manage your probability, these are exactly the types of trades that we're looking for, because they give you the movement that we want. So if I see a setup on GBP, I am not holding back. I'm taking it. If I get stopped out, I get stopped out, and that's just bad luck. Okay, so there's my comments. But if you are newer and you're a little bit, you're not hardened yet, you don't have calluses, trading calluses, so to speak, then yes, the GBP USD is the one to be the most alerted to in terms of volatility. All right, Aussie dollar. Let me analyze the market. All right, of course, I'm assuming I put this trade out on the daily call. I put it out also as a trading challenge trade. Did everybody take this trade? Can I just get a show of hands? Who took this trade over here? Let me just change colors. Who took this trade here? This is like, this type of trade is really like taking lollies from a little baby. Now, sometimes the parent sees you steal their lollies and you get in trouble, so you get stopped out. But most of the time, this is the type of trade that very, very, very solid resistance line, lots of evidence that it's a psychological level, okay? And you get beautiful price action candle formation on it. So if you're going to become a trader, this is the kind of trade that we cannot chicken out from. We must. The only question is, did you take it because it's an engulfing candle? Okay, because let me zoom in a little bit better. So because it's an engulfing candle, okay, so basically this one was engulfing this one, okay? So the only, if your trading rule says that you don't take the engulfing, that's okay. I don't mind. Your rules say that you don't take it, you don't take it. But if you did take it, the question is, did you take it at the open and you waited for this candle to finish, or did you take it when the candle finished, confirming the fractal? Okay, can I just get a show of hands for those of you who took it? Give me an S for the start of the candle, or give me an E for the end of the candle. Can I just get a show of hands? I just want to see what your thinking is like. Okay, so I'm going to say about 80% of you took it at the start. Okay, in this particular case, it didn't make a huge difference. What could have happened, let me just point it out because it's a really good example. What could have happened is this candle could have, I'm going to draw in blue. Oh, let me just draw in yellow because you can see it a bit better. But this is a green candle that I'm drawing, okay? So what could have happened is it opened there, you're left with a long tail, and it could have ended up here somewhere, which could have given you an entry at this level, or it could have even been worse. It could have done this, and you would have been stopped out. And when you look back on the trade, it's like, well, there wasn't even a setup there at all. But there was so much evidence on this resistance line that it was worth the probability. Okay, so the probabilities were stacked correctly, so this is why we took it. All right, so consequently, you can still see I've got a position in there. It's already hit my T1 target. This is like my T, I think this is about T 2.5 for me. I don't know what it is, but it's a free trade essentially, so I'm just letting it run. I'm hoping it comes down and hits that second target. Either way, if it comes back and stops me out, this trade here is zero. Okay, I cannot lose on this one because that's the same level that I've entered at. Okay, all right, so what do we have right now? So if I'm looking at this chart and I'm going to look at it completely biased as if I do not have a trade in the market, I've got nothing on this one. I can really only see sells. If I don't have a trade on it, I would try and wait for this to come back to this level to try and hit it again. Okay, so that's what I would genuinely be looking for. There is nothing else that is screaming. So the Aussie dollar basically stays as it is. If you're in the trade and you still have some positions, if you've closed everything out, well then you've just hit a winning trade. You've got to wait for the next trade. If you've closed something and you still got something in it, well then you're waiting for your next target. Question, let me just read it one moment. Okay, someone's just telling me that they've modified their trading plans based on the formation of the candles. So we can always do that when we're learning, when we're in the beginning stages, we'll modify our trading plans a lot. What I suggest is try and get, if you follow through modules 1 to 6 through the trading challenge, it's going to help you create a fairly solid trading plan. It's always going to modify. My trading plan modifies still from time to time. But once you've got something that you kind of think you're okay with, just play it out, give it a chance. What I'm trying to say is we don't want to modify every 2 minutes. Okay, so all right, so there you go. Let's move on. Euro USD, let's see what we've got. Okay, there's that 108 line that I was talking about that we marked over, oops, that's a bit crooked, but through there. So we've broken the 108, and my question now is, will we continue to push there? Now, we've had a bit of gap in nature this morning, and this is mostly due to the healthcare bill that the news came out late, and a couple of things were said over the weekend. So the US had a little gap in there, and that's what that little gap in the market is. It's not huge, it's quite little, but what I'm trying to point out is there was no, like, this candle did not do this. Okay, if this candle, the one that I've just drawn in right now, have finished like that, that's a clear signal to buy at the open of the next one if you're a breakout trader. Okay, if you're a breakout trader, that's like a really strong signal. Breakout trading is a little bit psychologically difficult, for a lot of us. I'm one of those people. Like I break out trade only on currencies that I've had a good history with, so to speak. The principles are still the same. I just have a little bit of a psychological issue. That's why for the trading challenge, I'm not really doing breakouts. Okay, so I'm trying to hit reversals on critical areas, and that's essentially what I've spelt out in everything that I've said. So the question now is, what could happen with the Euro USD? Now we've okay, the logical sense to me says that I'll wait for this to push a little bit, come back into this region right here. Let's look for price action and then a bit of confirmation, and let's see if we can hit that really nice trade. Okay, so that's what I'm looking for on the Euro USD. Over here on Friday, Thursday, towards the end of last week, I was looking for this. I thought I might have been able to get the opportunity to hit this type of trade, but it didn't come along. And if we analyze it, this is the beauty of price action when you use it in the correct places. If you have a look at the candle that gave us the fractal, which is this one, okay, you can see that when we analyze the 3 candle sequence, which is these 3 over here, we got nothing. We didn't get an inside candle. We didn't get an engulfing candle. So this is a sign in itself that perhaps the market was not willing to turn around, and hence it broke up in the other direction. Okay, this is one of the greatest reasons that I love the price action, is because it gives me this kind of protection, and it makes it easy to when I pick my trades, they're almost black and white. It's either there or it's not. Okay, so that's just a couple of side comments. I always try and do this. Anybody new in the class, although I'm analyzing the markets, if I see something that's interesting, I'll share it with you. I'm trying to shortcut you my 15 odd years of looking at the markets. I'm going to try and shortcut you through. In 6 months of coming to these classes, you'll be the equivalent of 3 years doing it on your own. A couple of questions, one sec. Paul, which chart are you talking about? Can you just tell me what chart? What currency, I mean? The Euro USD, Friday. Aha, okay. Give me a, this is, okay, these are, thank you, Paul. These are actually a good one because I saw this. All right, Paul is saying this is Friday's candle, okay? So that's Friday. What he's saying is that these 2 candles, let's pretend this one does not exist yet, okay? This candle is not in the picture, it doesn't exist. What do I have there? What do I have there, guys? If I look at just these 2 candles circled, what do I have? Okay, Hubert's got it, Rav's got it. Yep, we all got it. We have an engulfing candle. Okay, so an engulfing candle, now the color's weird, okay? If we're expecting it to go down, this one should be red and this one doesn't matter, okay? So the color's a little bit weird. We really want a bearish engulfing. To be honest, I don't, in the beginning when I started to try and create the method to make it easy to explain to my students, I just said engulfing, I don't care about the colors. Now, I prefer it to be the correct color in the direction that I want to trade, but let's ignore that part of the equation, okay? It's an engulfing candle, and typically I would say, yes, take a trade. Now, there's 2 issues with this particular one. The first one is that technically this candle will never get the fractal because this one over here has got it. Okay, the fractal actually looks at a 5 candle sequence, okay? This candle here's got the fractal, so you're not gonna get the fractal over here, which basically means you're stuck making a decision. Yes, you still are at that critical level, so if you were to make the decision that you're gonna trade this in this direction, it's already a little bit aggressive because there was a candle here and this one here that have higher points than this one that we're choosing. That's the first issue. The second issue, which is the most beautiful of them all, is when the earliest that you could have taken this trade, if you wanted to, was here. Is that correct? Does everybody agree that this is the earliest that I could have taken this trade? Okay. Does it make sense for me to take the trade up there when already it's broken the high? So this was an easy decision. Okay, so thank you, Paul. This is a good example. In this particular case, I could not have taken the trade even if I wanted to, as long as I'm following my rules. Okay, so this one, price action didn't help. But the one, if this candle had have opened in here somewhere, then you would have had to make a decision whether you felt comfortable that there's two candles over here that had higher highs than here. Okay, and that's a reality. That and these are the types of things when you start to really trade price action. These are the types of situations that you come across, and you should document these types of situations into your trading plans. Okay, so that when they do come up, you don't. What I don't want you to do is make a decision on the spot. On the spot, all I want you to do is action what your trading plan says. Okay, and the better your trading plan is, I mean in terms of detail, the less decisions you will have to make during that moment of heat and, you know, psychological stress and euphoria and hope and all those feelings that we're feeling. All right, so there you go. Thank you for that. Let me zoom out. So just again, Euro USD, the plan is let's let it go. Let's see if it comes back into this region. Let's look for price action, and then let's look for this trade. Okay, let's move on. GBP USD. Okay, GBP USD. We are. You can see the importance of me leaving my lines from the previous week. Instantly I know where I'm up to. Instantly I know what I'm looking for. I'm still in the range. Now remember, this is the one that we're saying. If Article 50, and if it goes according to plan, to what everybody's speculating, could do this, bang, and just shoot down. Unfortunately, there's nothing here that's telling me. Perhaps I tried really hard this morning to draw a line across here, and I had to bend it a little bit to look for an excuse to shoot down, but the line didn't fit in, so I couldn't do it. So what I'm going to look for, okay, this is only for those of you who are a little bit more aggressive, okay? A little bit more aggressive. Let me zoom in. What I'm going to try and do is this. I'm going to try and draw this line across here. Okay, let me just smooth it out a little bit. I'm quite happy with it there. Okay, so, and what I'm looking for is this. I'm looking for anything here that's going to show me some kind of reversal. Now, because I actually want to be part of this trade, because I'm very aggressive, I'm even going to step into a 4-hour chart to look for price action to take me. I'm looking for something to give me an opportunity to shoot down. Okay, now remember, this is a very aggressive trade, but it does have solid foundation. Okay, it doesn't change the fact that the reasoning for what I'm trying to do is still legitimate. You can clearly see if I get rid of this line over here, it's just so people don't get confused for one moment. If you look at that, okay, that's still a relatively, this would still be a genuine one touch, two touch, and this will be my third attempt at it. So I'm looking for a reason to sell, and this is the best reason that I can find. So what I'm trying to say is, if today, by the end of today, this pushes towards this area there, what I'm willing to do is drop down one time division, go into a 4-hour chart, and let's see if I get the candles that I'm looking for on this perimeter to give me an excuse to sell it. Does everybody understand what I'm trying to say there? And let me just redraw back the other line that I had so that I know, I think, where was it? Kind of in here somewhere. Okay. Quick question. Someone's asking me, can I explain why I feel aggressive trading is working for me? Okay, the word aggressive, I'm just basically using it to try and explain to you guys a trade that a beginner would go for. I'm trying to protect you from the higher volatility. That's what I'm trying to say. For me, it's not considered aggressive. For me, it's just like it's a normal trade for me. I'm trying to use the best words so that you can understand. I'm just trying to help you. This is not like that Aussie US dollar trade that we saw there. That was a much more higher probability trade. This one here is probably a bit lower probability, is the best way to say it. David, are you talking about this trend line? Sorry, this diagonal one? I drew that a little bit funny. Yeah, so that's right. So I'm thinking, so just to clarify, what I'm thinking is when we get to this trend line over here, I'm looking for price action reversal pattern, which will give me an opportunity to sell. Okay, so that's what I'm looking for. If I see it, you will see it in the daily call. Okay, because on the daily call, I'm just trying to find any trade that I can find. Okay, all right, so that's our game plan for the GBP USD. Now, of course, if this has a big push today and tomorrow and gets to this line, and I see the price action there, then I'm happy to take it off that line as well. Okay, so don't limit yourself. That was the original line that I had. I just don't know if it's going to get up that far before we trigger. That's why I drew this other one. Okay, let's have a look at gold. Okay, remember gold, we picked up what we think is going to be a channel. And last week we were here. It's still moving along nicely. We're still kind of in the middle, so we really can't do anything. Oh, hang on. I just saw something. Okay, can you guys see what I'm seeing now? Let me just get rid of this so I don't confuse you. What do we think about that? Do we like it? So here we have a line that was acting as support 2 times. It broke through and it came and acted as resistance. So the question now is, will it act as resistance again? Okay, so that's worth having a go at. So let's zoom in, let's have a look. Okay, so right now we've got, let's just say this candle finishes like this, then tomorrow we're hoping we get a candle that's inside it, and then Wednesday we would be ready to take a short position on this particular type of chart. Okay, so keep an eye on that. Add that one to your hot list. It is gold, so if gold is not one of your trading instruments, well then just walk away from it. But this one's looking very much, we are at the critical area right now. All we're waiting for is today's candle to finish and tomorrow's to see if we get a setup. Let me move on. Let's have a look at the US yen. Okay, clearly US yen has come out of that. Now, I got somebody sent me an email. I don't remember who it was. If you're in the room, can you just make yourself known? But the email was in relation to the 7 candles in a row. Let me zoom in. In the daily call, I think Thursday or Wednesday, I don't remember which one it was, but it was 1 candle, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 right there. Okay, and I took it, and typically the reason 8 candles is really nice. Sometimes I'll take it at 7. It just depends when I see it. Do you know what I mean? But I never take it before 7. But it's a statistical, we're just looking for a little sharp turnaround. And typically, depends on the instrument, I'll go for either 30 or 60. And somebody asked me the question, and they said, well, how do you know when to go for 60 and when to go for 30? Okay, I'll try my best to explain it right now, okay? So give me, if I confuse you, just let me know, okay? If you don't know what I'm talking about, that's okay. I'm going to try my best. So basically what happened was this candle here had just finished, all right? Just finished. So this candle that I'm pointing at right now was just about to start. So the theory is that I'm thinking that we've had 7 reds in a row, so I actually want a little bit of a turnaround. That's it. It's got nothing to do with it's at resistance or anything. It's purely a statistical probability type trade. Okay, so whatever distance the body, this body, okay, whatever the body of the 7th candle is, whatever this is, okay, this is how I judge whether it's 30 pips or 60 pips. If this body was, say, 120 pips, I would go for 60. If this body was, say, 60 pips, well then I'm only going to go for about 30. When I measure this one, this body here, it's about 47 pips, okay? So if the body is 47 pips, for me to go to 60 pips, essentially my trade has to end up here somewhere. So in essence, the highest point of this candle would have had to been over there, which would make it an engulfing candle. Now, if it was to turn around in this particular case and it was an engulfing candle, it would mean reversal. Now, I don't really think reversal is going to happen. I don't actually care if reversal happens. All I'm looking for is a little bit of a kickback, okay? So for me, because this body was so little, it did not make sense to go for 60 pips, okay? I don't know if I've ever talked about this before because this is not a method that I even officially show you guys. It's just something that I'm sharing from just me, I don't know, spending a lot of time looking at charts, okay? So there you go. So that trade for me hit my 30 pips. The next day, we get another red candle. So now it's 8 red candles in a row. So of course I'm going to go for it again. If I look at measure the body of this one now, okay, the body of this one was even less, okay? This one's only about 28, but I always go for at least 30, so I went for 30 again. This one went to about 47, so I hit the same trade 2 times. Does that make sense to everybody? I don't remember who it was. Somebody sent me an email asking me how do I know when to pick 30 or 60 or whatever number? Has that cleared it up for some of you? I don't even know if did anybody trade this? Question mark? Okay, yeah. Rav's traded those. Oh, fantastic. All right. So anyway, there you go. So I tried my best to explain that. Let's see what we got. Well, we've come out of the channel now. So has the trend started that it's going to start to fall? So that means maybe pulling back. So looking for price action over here and looking for this type of trade. Okay, so that's the most easy, the most logical trade to look for on the US yen. Okay, question, just give me a moment, let me read it. Question's been asked, was there some very positive JPY news, or what do you think the JPY got stronger against most other currencies? Well, this is a week and a half back, I think, in the monetary policy. Japan, basically, they said that not much was changing, but it wasn't something massively impacting, okay? to be perfectly honest, when we get movements in any chart, sometimes I don't really try to find. The reason the movement is happening, to me, is secondary. Okay, what I'm looking for mainly is I'm looking for the candle formations and the patterns that that have worked in the past that I want to try and take advantage. Sometimes I know the reasons why it's happened, sometimes I don't, but it's kind of secondary. Okay, but I believe that this movement was caused more from the policy announcements that were done about a week and a half ago. Okay, all right, so everybody got the game plan for the US yen. Wait for a pullback. Let's see if we can get price action and continuation. Let's move to the euro yen. This line that I'm just drawing on my chart, it doesn't feel natural to me, but it does have 3 touches. And that's an inside candle here. And I think we've broken the high. What do we think? Can I just I just want to see what you guys think. I'll show it to you properly. There's the chart. We've got an inside candle there. I did not see this. I just saw it just now. And it has broken. So it would mean basically that the trade is in this direction. What do we think? Can let's I'm going to I'll take a trade if the majority votes yes. Okay, so I'm reading. So if you don't know, just say question mark. If you think no, say no. And if you think yes, just say yes. Ah, okay. All right. So this is a very, very interesting one. Somebody's made the best comment. Let me just read it. I just said this line doesn't feel natural to me. Somebody made a comment. It fits your rules, Cristian. So that's got to be a yes. Oh, I just lost the comment right now, but the way that I read that comment was, it fits your rules, Cristian. What's the problem? Great comment. So I think it was Richard. Richard, I just lost the comments. But anyway, okay. All right, here we go then. Now the only problem now is that how much room have I got for that stop? Give me a second. I'm very close to it. I'm only about 41. This will change the dynamic of my trade because my 2 to 1 from here, 41.90, would put me at about here. Okay, let's go. Let's do this. Trading challenge, you trade. Yep. Let me just put you guys on mute for 1 second. I just got to size everything up. One moment. Okay, the bottom line is I got to trade at volume 0.42 to risk $250. Here I go. You all know how to size it. I got to go 0.042. My stop, I'm going to go for what I say. I'm going to go for about a 50 point stop, just a little bit beyond it, which will put me at 119.17. I'll just put any target and I'll modify it in a moment. And I'm a buyer, 0.42. Done, I'm in. Let me just modify. I'll come back and place my Supreme overlay on it so that it just takes it just works itself out automatically. Okay. Question is, why not sell with the trend? Who thinks I'm in a trend? Am I in a trend? Someone's asking me why not sell with the trend. Am I in a trend? What do we think? It looks more like congestion to me, okay? It looks more like, you know, everything's happening inside these two levels and I'm getting this, okay? So look, just because the moving averages have changed over, that's the simple definition of it, okay? But I think once we clear this level, if it comes down and goes through there, then we can say we're possibly in a trend. But at the moment, it feels like we're in congestion. So, and again, you know, this line, it's fitted just right. So, and you can see with my stop is it's coming underneath the blue line. It feels, this trade does not feel right for some reason, but it meets the rules. So as Richard told me, it meets my rules. So there you go, I'm in. Okay, so this is a trading challenge trade. I'm going to count this to the challenge. After the class, I'll post out a Twitter announcement. Okay, so there you have it. Euro yen, we're in. Let's see what happens. Moving on, Kiwi dollar. Let's have a look at the Kiwi dollar. Nothing. Okay, Kiwi dollar. Oh, hang on. No, there's nothing here. Nothing in here that will give me a reason to go into this direction. Kiwi dollar, we got nothing. So let's leave this one. Let's move along. Rav, I've just put my target on that trade. I've just pulled it out of the way for a sec. When this class finishes, I'll go back and modify it to step out of it correctly. But right now it's roughly at the 2-to-1 point. I just did it visually. Okay. Thank you. Okay, what have we got now? US CAD. I drew this. Okay, there's a couple of lines. I've got this one here that I've got on my chart, and I've got these two here, and none of them are giving me an opportunity to do anything right now. So in this whole section here, I would be looking for buys, but there's nothing there. I'm too much in the middle of the channel, in the middle of this one, so US CAD's got nothing either. Oh, okay, all right, I'll move on. WTI. Okay, I drew this line last week. We didn't get an opportunity to bounce off it, but now we may get an opportunity to break through it. So far, we don't have any setups. So what we're looking for is possibly something like this into that direction if there's anybody that's trading oil. Okay, so keep this line on. The line is good. Let's just see what happens on that one. Okay. Alright, so there you have it. Let me summarize quickly. If you have any other questions, type them in and I will address them for you. Aussie dollar, we are currently in a sell through the challenge. We've hit target 1, we're chasing target 2. Euro USD, we've just broken the 108 level. We're looking for a extension, pulling back into that possible support region, and let's see if we get some price action to give us the opportunity to shoot up into this direction. GBP USD, we've just drawn a second line and we're looking for an opportunity to see if we can become a seller on reversal on either this line or that line, whichever one it happens. Gold, we are at a critical point right now. We've got to wait 2 more candles to see if we've actually get this set up. Today's candle and tomorrow before we actually hit out. US yen, we've broken through. Let's see if we get a pullback and an opportunity to sell into US yen. Euro yen, we've just taken a live trade off a support line. We had an inside candle which broke slightly at the top, so we are in on that one. Kiwi dollar, nothing. US CAD, nothing. WTI, we've broken through a support line. Let's see if we can come back to the support line and look for an opportunity to sell. Couple of questions, one moment. Euro AUD trade on the 17th. Did I get stopped out? Euro AUD. Was that a daily call trade? Euro AUD. Let me bring up I don't even have a Euro AUD chart on my screen. Let me bring one. Euro AUD. Yeah, oh yes, I remember the trade. Yeah, I did. I got stopped out by 6 pips. Okay, this was the trade. It was a daily call trade. It was that one there. We broke through. We triggered, and look, this little bottom here it stopped me out by I think it was 5 or 4. I don't remember. And then it's just gone in that direction. It was a trading challenge trade. Okay, so trading challenge trade. Okay, yep. Then I got stopped out on it. I've got it documented. I just don't remember if it was a daily call or a trading challenge. You know where to see the results, guys? I'll show you. Give me a second. So if you go here, courses, trading challenge, March 2017 here, click on this one, and here's the trade. See, I got stopped out. Got that one, Rav? Did you see where I went? So I've got it there, and this is still an open trade. Okay, so so Rav is saying that he's actually hit target. He didn't get stopped out. So depending on where you placed your stop, I literally got stopped out by I think it was 3 pips. Okay, so it's a little bit frustrating, but like one of our other students, Rav over here, he's still in the trade. He didn't get stopped out, and he has hit his target. So well done. I got stopped out. So and we're all trading the same on the same prices. So I'm keeping. This is the 2-to-1 record, and this is taking half the trade out at T1 level. Okay. So there you go. All right, there was a couple of other questions. 1 second. Someone's asking me Aussie Kiwi dollar, Aussie Kiwi. I just daily called a trade today on the Aussie Kiwi. Okay, it didn't get triggered. Okay, so if you saw today's daily call, this was a trade set up to trade that way, but we've broken the bottom. So if anybody's done that, just cancel your order out. It didn't trigger. Okay, so so my thoughts on the Aussie Kiwi Alex, is, well, if I get another setup here to go that way, I'll try it again. So as long as I stay in the trend, I'm still in the trend as far as I'm concerned. So only if I get below this level here will I start to think the trend's over. So until then, I'm still looking for opportunities to buy it. But the one that was today did not trigger. Someone's asking me, can I have a look at the euro pound? One moment, euro pound, let's have a look. Okay, this is an interesting one because if we think of like, are we in trend? This is the first pullback. Now this high has not overtaken that high, so I would not consider this body engulfing candle as a buy. Okay, and if I actually zoom out a little bit, it's a converging triangle. If you really look at this more carefully, you know, like I can see the first thing that my eye looks at is that I've got this, and I've got, oh, damn, and I've got this. So my eye sees this triangle first. Remember, I always like patterns, so I'll be looking for something here in this direction. Okay, so there's a nice pattern, this one too. So this is the euro pound. Okay, does that help? Who asked me about the euro pound? David did. Okay, let me see, there's some other questions here. Give me one moment. Okay. I think I've covered all those questions. Let's see how we go with this particular trade that we've just placed now. Let's just wait it out. If there's no more questions, we'll wrap it up. There will be no class this Thursday. I'll get one of my guys to send out an email and I'll pick out something interesting from the past for you all to look at. I will be in Perth this Thursday doing a seminar, so this is the reason that I cannot do the class. If you have any questions, as always, guys, please just email us, either myself, just through the invite email that you receive, just respond to that and we will, eventually that email gets to me, I will answer your questions and I'll get back to you. Hope you'll have a fantastic trading week and I will speak to you all next week. And of course, I speak to you every day via the daily call. Bye for now.